Hey guys, DLC for Psycho Krieg and the Fantastic Fustercluck just went live today for Borderlands 3. First I want to mention and shout out to 2K Games. I've joined their content creators group and it's been a blast, and I'm helping to support the game by making this video. It is sponsored by them. And in this video I want to share some details about Psycho Krieg because that's what the DLC is based on. I want to talk about his origins and then some interesting stuff about his character. I've put together some information that I feel will help people that are new to this DLC and even new to who Psycho Krieg is. I'll also be talking about a huge secret that is revealed within this DLC, but I won't give any spoilers. And then lastly, for those of you that are familiar with Psycho Krieg, you know that we only ever see him with a mask on, and I've been able to put together an image to show what he looks like without a mask. So as far as his very beginning origins, it started back in Borderlands 2. When the developers were trying to come up with the 4 main characters for the initial game, he was in the mix, but he did get cut. Then later they wanted to add more characters and more content, so they added Gage, and that was well received by the community. So they went back and looked at some of the concepts that they had early on and decided that Krieg the Psycho was going to be an excellent addition. So he's designed around the idea that obviously he's a psycho and there are other psychos in the game, so they needed to make him different so that you could tell him apart. They wanted his design to represent the idea that he is a psycho that is a hero. Then they also needed to make him really different from the way the psychos talk in the game. Those psychos sound kind of goofy and silly, and they wanted Krieg to sound really serious and sinister. And if you've ever heard the voice lines for Krieg, then you'll know what I'm talking about. They did say something that was interesting about the voice actor that was doing the lines for this character. Krieg's voice is very deep, growly, and raspy, and when the voice actor was doing the lines, he could only do a little at a time because it was injuring his vocal cords. So they'd have to take a couple of days off in between recording sessions so that his voice could heal. I just enjoy behind the scenes information like that. It helps me to appreciate the character and everything they had to do to develop it. Also, if you did play as Krieg in Borderlands 2, then you'll be familiar with the 2 different voices that you hear coming from him. Outwardly, when he speaks, he sounds like a crazy psycho, but while playing him, you can hear the sane side of him speaking. That sane side of him is the voice of reason, trying to keep the psycho part of him under control and only killing the bad guys and not the good guys. And the developers created that with the idea of the Hulk and also Dexter, where they do have those dual personalities, one good, one bad. And honestly, I think we all have a little of that in us, so Krieg is definitely relatable on some level. There's been some mysteries that surround Krieg since Borderlands 2. For instance, how did he become a psychotic killer? That's something that the developers did not want to answer in Borderlands 2. They wanted the player to think about it and wonder. But for Borderlands 3 and DLC 4, they do give us those final answers that all of us Krieg fans have been wondering about all these years. There is a side of Krieg that they revealed that is extremely intriguing, and that's his captivation with Maya. Krieg first meets Maya as he's wandering through Pandora's wasteland. When she sees him for the first time, she immediately thinks that he's a hostile, so she opens fire on him. That inadvertently attracts enemies that are nearby, putting her in danger. Krieg salvages the situation by taking out the enemies and saving Maya. This heroic act from Krieg allows Maya to warm up to him. Krieg becomes very smitten with her and they become buddies. After the events of Borderlands 2, Krieg exiles himself away in the dark depths of Pandora, and having become smitten with Maya, he wishes to see her again. And that's where Borderlands 3 picks back up, and where DLC 4 delves deeper into this love affair. In this DLC, you're going to learn a very important secret between Krieg and Maya. Due to Krieg's mental state, he's having a hard time communicating to Maya to let her know that he has feelings for her and that he misses her. Also, there are echo logs that have been placed throughout Borderlands 3 where you can hear Krieg trying to reason with his psychotic side and coach it and teach it how to express itself so that he can let Maya know how he feels. This is a very touching backstory, and DLC 4 helps to further explain what's going on there, so if you pay attention you can really appreciate it. It's a really beautiful story. Also, we are diving deep into the mind of a psycho, and it's a pretty crazy ride through this DLC. And it's not just about psychedelic rainbows and neat bicycles. This DLC has a very important message. I've done a playthrough twice on this DLC and I teared up both times at the end. It was just really powerful, and I truly understood the message that the developers were sending. And I don't want to give away any spoilers, but everybody is going to relate to the story in their own way anyway. But enough of the touchy-feely. Let me show you guys what I have uncovered as far as what Krieg looks like without a mask. I don't believe there are any images on the internet that represent this. I had to piece apart bunch of things together to try to form his face. In Borderlands 2, he has different heads, and I was able to use different heads that revealed different parts of his face and then piece that all together. And I'm no fancy schmancy graphic artist. I did the best that I could, but here is what he looks like from what I can tell from the pieces I put together. You'll have to excuse the hair. This is probably not his go-to hairdo, but this is just one of the skins that I was able to make work. But yeah, not a bad looking dude under all that. Also, a couple of things before I go for people that are going to be playing the DLC in regards to getting some of the new awesome legendaries that they added. I have a full video breakdown of all the legendaries and what they do, and they're all really good. They did a great job with these. I'm going to post that video shortly. I just don't want to post it too soon and spoil anything for you guys. But I will tell you that if you are farming for legendaries, know that the dedicated pool drops are not in effect yet. They're going to be doing that, I believe, next patch. So everything is just going to be basically a world drop. Also, the new legendaries in this DLC are not added to any of the red chest or white chest. They are being dropped from enemies or earned as reward items only. One last thing, if you guys encounter the side missions and you're completely confused about what they're saying and doing, just know that a lot of that is referencing backstory and things that you would hear and see in Borderlands 2. But I think that's about it. This is definitely a must play. Let me know what you guys think about this. I've got a ton of videos coming. There's a lot of fun things to do in this DLC, and we'll see you guys next video.
Deal with these.